All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Nantucket Cultural Council meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Today is May 5th. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in attendance today, we have Tony Wagner. Can you just say present?
Present.
After I call your name? Thank you. Ava Rollins.
Present.
Thank you. Sarah?
Present.
Sarah Ellis, thank you. And Janet Schulte?
I'm here.
Thank you. And Michael Kopko, I'm letting into the meeting right now. Michael Kopko, present?
Yes, yep, I'm here.
Thank you so much. So
Sorry, I
today,
clicked the wrong
May
button.
5th. Thank you. I understand problems. Today we're May 5th. We're going to discuss the elements of our timeline to go through what we need for the event. The first thing that we need to do, of course, is we need to approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. Can I get a first to approve those minute meetings?
So moved.
A second.
Thank you. Thank you. The minutes from the last meeting have been approved. Now we can move on and we can start going through the timeline so we can really start to detail out this event. And I created this timeline as a loose vehicle that we can kind of manipulate and look at and talk about timing. And there's some action items in here as well. One of the action items is an informational PowerPoint that I'd like to do. Is anyone interested in working on this with me?
Jordy, let me ask you, what the PowerPoint is just slides of information and
Correct.
that's going to run
So
during the event.
It would run pre-show. So while people are getting into the theater and getting comfortable, there would be, what I'm envisioning is there would be logos of the organizations, as well as the logo of the town, and information on the Nantucket Cultural Council. There'll be slides about how you apply, when the application date is, if you have any issue, who you can reach out to. Just
Okay.
something in the background when people are filing in, so there's not a blank page.
Okay. Does anyone have like a smaller screen? We have a projector we can project with, but just it would be good to get it like, one of those classroom type projection screens. Does the
What do you-
town have one, maybe, Jeanette?
I don't know of one.
I've got one I can bring. It's like 100-inch screen, something like that.
Great.
Okay, great. So I'd like to do something like that. Would anyone like to work on this with me?
I will.
Oh,
There.
thank you, Sarah. Thank you. That would be great. Perfect. So we'll work together and put this together. I just want something when people come in that there's something in the background. And then, okay, perfect. So moving on, then a program for the event. What are our thoughts on creating a program? Should we have a program? Do you think it should be a program with a QR code that people can download on their own phone so we don't have the paper? Or do you feel it should be printed, or do you feel we should not have a program whatsoever?
I feel it should be printed personally.
Okay. I like a printed program myself. Anyone else?
That sounds fine.
Okay. Now with printing, there is a small cost, of course, to print the program.
We could probably do them on my copy machine here at the office.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. Excellent. I need someone's help to lay out the program. Do I have anyone interested in doing that?
Yeah, I could definitely help with that.
Excellent. Thank you, Tony. Perfect. All right, moving down. We're in our pre-prep. Michael and Justin are going to be our MCs for the event. And Michael, what do you need on your end? And we'll, of course, when we get down to the logistics of the presentation, that will be a little more. But what are your thoughts on? We have 16 organizations we're going to feature. What are your thoughts on?
Well, here, let me, I have some general thoughts. I think that
Great.
play into this. One is, I think we should probably start the presentation a little earlier. Like maybe at 6:15, something like that. My experience with events like this is people kind of want to get in, have a drink, schmooze, see the thing, and get out. So I would move it up a little bit. I'm not sure what kind of presentation that you're envisioning. Are we just, I mean, we're not presenting things to organizations, right? We're discussing, it's basically just a discussion of why we're here and what we're doing, right? Yeah.
Correct. And it's also to recognize the programming that these organizations put together and propelled into the community. And it gives them a small, and again, very small opportunity for us to recognize them. And hopefully that'll propel more programming and more things like this.
Right.
So
My suggestion for this, for Justin, and I have a feeling Justin would agree, is that the pertinent, that we have a list of pertinent things to mention. And then Justin, knowing Justin and actually knowing myself, we can wing the actual, talking about it kind of thing, reading through and doing and all that stuff. I think that's more effective also if we're just talking off the cuff rather than reading from a script on either side. Does that make sense?
it does. My struggle is I want these organizations recognized, but we only have a short amount of time to do this.
Right.
But I also want to give them the opportunity to say something.
Each organization.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. That's what I want to talk out with everyone. I'm thinking that maybe we could call up 4 organizations at a time and then recognize them for their programming. They could tell us a little bit about the programming that they did. And keep it, if we call up 4 people at a time and keep those blocks at about 15 minutes per 4, that's doable. And that gives us an hour. And then we have 10 minutes for the Spotlight Award. And then we have another 10 minutes for me to talk about Cultural Council and recognize the council and recognize past council members, and then goodbye. How does that sound for a timeline? Does that sound doable? Does that sound not doable? I need some input.
I think it sounds way over long. I mean, I think the whole presentation should be within an hour, I would think. The whole thing. I wouldn't go.
I agree with Michael. I think people are, sorry guys, I have COVID. That's why I look like I'm at some deranged resort. But I would say that people are tapped out from town meeting and we should keep it to an hour, like an hour 15 max, so that people stay engaged, because they also might want to socialize after or before.
Yeah, socializing after I think is going to be important too, because we will have just kind of heard about a lot of things, what we're talking about, and people will want to talk about that a little bit. I can tell you that having 4 people come up representing 4 organizations and giving that group 15 minutes among them to talk about their organizations, those will end up taking 20 minutes each, getting people in, up, getting them down, getting them to talk in front of a group full of people. It's, I'm having 16 people come up and each say something, I don't think is a good idea.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm happy to be
And
told
again,
I'm wrong.
I just want to make this a collaboration of the whole council. So I just want to talk this out. I think that would be long as well, but I also want if someone has something to say, I want them to give them the stage to do that. So if we dial it back and we talk about these 16 organizations, as long as you and Justin are feel that you're able to do that well, then that's great. And give them talking about their programming a little bit. That's awesome. I have no problem with that. Anyone else? Input from the rest of the council about how to best handle this? I do agree with Michael.
Yeah, I agree too, but I don't unfortunately have a good idea yet. How do we recognize all 16 in a way that makes sense? Other than reading, having Michael and Justin do some kind of, one or 2 sentences about each one, stand and be recognized, something like that. Of course, how do we get that information? I guess from the
Right.
applications.
I agree with, I want to see that as well, Tony. I want every organization to be recognized for what they did. I want the organizations in the room to be inspired by other organizations. And I want the organizations that haven't been engaged or haven't connected with the council on this level to be engaged, to be re-engaged, and now, to really bump everything up. And since we haven't done anything for 2 years, and we really haven't done anything like this ever, I just wanted to be really mindful and thoughtful and a representation of the entire council.
I don't know if anybody saw, but also I just got an email, the Chamber's monthly event is happening at the exact same time as this is happening. The business after hours at the brewery. So that's interesting.
Did you already send out the invites, Jordana?
No, I didn't send the invites because I needed approval from everyone
So we could still
to
change
send those
the date,
out.
couldn't we?
We could.
It might be nice to do it on a night that we don't have as much competition.
I don't like to compete with the chamber whatsoever, because
We're, yeah.
everybody
Same
needs to
team.
connect, and
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I don't want to create that. All right, I guess there's a discussion now on the date, which was, this is the second time. The first time we had it scheduled for school vacation. So this is the 17th.
And then I know it's
Which would
Wine
be-
Festival, so you're probably going to be tied up with that the following couple days, right, Jordana? Or no?
I mean, we could move it to Wednesday. The problem with Wednesday is that's when the the wine festival starts to kick in, as far
Yeah,
as I'm
that's what I'm
concerned,
saying.
this is my priority. So if we want to move it to Wednesday as opposed to Tuesday, that
That's not at the select board meeting.
I just, and that, that's, I think, why we stayed away from Wednesday to begin with. Thank you. So let's look at some dates.
This is, and here, just to throw another wrench in it, this is obviously something Justin will need to be involved in, rescheduling this thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So at this point, I do agree that the 17th is, I don't want to compete with an event, especially at the brewery with the Chamber of Commerce, when we're honoring the same, and we want the same group of people there. Do I have any input from the council on another date, or what your thoughts are
What
on
is the
moving the date?
problem? Sorry, what is the problem with the Monday?
Monday, the 16th?
Just as an alternative, yes.
Yeah. Does anyone have an issue? Of course, we will have to check with Justin on this, because it has to be a complete effort. Is anyone have any issues with the 16th of May?
For what time? Would we do?
I would assume this the same time. My
5:10?
other would be, yes. And the other option would be just to move it a week to the 24th, which is a Tuesday, which would be after Wine Festival. This, staying away from Wednesdays. What are our thoughts on
I
those
can make
two
either of
options?
those work personally.
Yeah, from our standpoint, the 24th would work better than the 16th, but the 16th is doable. We couldn't really do anything earlier than the 16th.
I don't think we can, yeah, I mean, that's already in 10 days. So I would say it would be better to move out a week. So we have at least 2 weeks after you send the invite so that people have a proper heads up.
I agree. So at this point, may I get a consensus on a new date of the 24th of May, which is a Tuesday, the same time frame, Michael? Would that work for you? 5:30
Yep.
to 7:30?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And again, this is pending Justin.
Is there a Concom meeting then, or is it the other Tuesday? Do we know? Janet?
I would have to look it up.
I wouldn't be as concerned about conflicting with the Concom meeting as a select board meeting.
Okay.
Right.
You guys know better what the overlap is. I just have it on there as a maybe.
Okay, so at this point, I would like to propose a second tentative date of the 24th of May from 5:30 to 7:30 at the White Heron Theater Company. Just moving the event 1 week in response to the Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours event happening on the 17th. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Okay, so my question now is, should we go through this timeline and discuss it so we have that in place for the 24th? Or should we table this and have another meeting?
Well, I think we need to make sure the date works for the theater.
Yeah, the 24th works for us.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
So it's just making sure that Justin is able to attend.
To attend. Okay, great.
So I would like to go through some of, if it's possible to go through, because the timeline will stay the same regardless of when the date is. And then that way, that'll let us get some of these action items taken care of, assuming that we are moving the event to the 24th. And again, I will call Justin after this meeting and check in with him and send everyone a an email that we're on for the 24th, and or because of the open meeting law, we would have to have another meeting and discuss it all together of when we can do this.
Well,
Does that make sense?
yeah, what I think, I mean, I'd like to settle on the nature of the event generally.
Yes, exactly. Me as well. So if we can
Um,
go through the time,
Okay,
does that, okay, perfect. All right, so I won't focus so much on the dates, but I'll focus on the items themselves and the integral timeline of the event. Okay, so we have the pre-prep registration form. Do we want these organizations to sign in when they come in? What are our thoughts on this? Do we have a registration table? And that's another opportunity to welcome them, or do we just let people walk into the courtyard? What are our thoughts on that?
I don't think we need a registration table, but maybe an easier way to do it is just, have name tags or something that people can pick up. That's an easy way to welcome people into, without having a, more formal thing.
Agreed.
Exactly.
mhm.
So maybe just a table, and again, it will be dependent if it's windy or anything with these name tags. We may have to keep them in a box. I'm not sure, but just a place where we can have a table where we can have people's name tags. I think is a great idea, and a council member there, making sure that everybody gets their name tag. They have any questions, also just welcoming them, and that also provides a person there for someone who may just be interested, and we can give them information about the council. It also provides the opportunity to not let somebody in who may not have an invitation or not be underage or it just gives another opportunity for us to make sure that the people that are coming into the event are supposed to be at the event. Does that make sense?
Yeah, do we know what we're doing about COVID issues? Are we masking people? Have we made a decision about that?
That is so that's a question on your protocol, on what you would prefer in the theater, what the town is doing right now. What are people's thoughts on this? Michael, what are your thoughts?
Well, currently, when the theater opens for production, we'll be requiring masking, like most theaters do. But I just went to town meeting Monday night, and I was one of 10 people wearing a mask in the auditorium with 900 people there. So whether people are what they're used to, what they expect, I'm not sure.
Do you have masks available at the theater for people to wear if they don't bring their own?
We can,
Okay.
but what are everybody's thoughts about that?
Well, I'll be wearing, excuse me, I'll be wearing a mask. My parents are in their 80s and I see them every day. So I can get masks from St. Paul's as well, where I also volunteer. So if Michael can't, I can.
That'd be helpful.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes.
Thank
Of
you.
course.
Anyone else have some input on this? Maybe we can put something on the invitation saying masks are encouraged. I mean, what are our thoughts on the verbiage?
Well, I thought I heard Michael say masks will be required in the theater.
So masks required. Michael, is that what you'd like it to say?
I personally am of two minds about this. We function under rules that are promulgated by the union. So, we're still going to be testing people twice a week and mask, they still think it's to 2020 over there. So, so for our events, we're going to have to do that for a while anyway. But this is not one of our events, and I'd be comfortable if people are in the encouraging mode rather than requiring mode. We did, during the summer last year, I think the second day our show opened, the town encouraged masking, and then a couple days later they required masking. So encouraging, I go to the Stop and Shop, I go to the Marine Home Center. Encouraging masking does not get the result you might want, but I'm open to whatever the organization thinks is the best way to go forward.
Okay. Anybody else's input on this? Strongly encouraged? Masking is required. I just want to make sure that we have the right verbiage
Yeah.
on the invitation. And then we would have to have signage as well outside asking people to put on
For
masks.
an event like this, in light of the town, recent town meeting, I could understand if we said we were requiring masks and people say, well, I just went to town meeting with 900 people and they didn't require masks.
I don't think you can require it if it's not required by the town. Can you?
Say again?
I don't think you can require masks if it's not required by the town of Nantucket. I think you can just suggest it. Isn't that
I
correct?
think you can require it if it's a private.
If it's a private
So-
event.
Yeah. And businesses can, any business can still require it if they want.
So what is the verbiage we would like on the invitation? I have the copy open.
I think encourage is probably the one. I don't think there's much difference in people's minds between encourage and strongly encourage.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And so, and yeah. And on all honesty, I think
Yeah.
that's right too. People are going to do what they want to do. So it's just a question of making people feel comfortable about their own choice. And
Well, and
decision.
I think setting like a tone, like, I've seen situations where no one wears masks and then the few people that have them on take them off because they feel weird. So I think if we set a tone that people should feel comfortable wearing masks, that's nice.
Agreed.
Okay, so we have a consensus strongly, encouraged.
Masks are encouraged.
Masks are encouraged.
Yes.
And will be available, maybe even or not.
I think you
Just
should
strongly
encourage people to bring their own because the disposable ones are not good for the environment. And if they don't bring one, we'll have a few on hand.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we'll supply masks. I would just say
Okay.
masks are encouraged. People
Okay,
who
perfect.
feel strongly about it will wear a mask, and people who don't won't. So
Right. I will probably have one on and I'll probably pull it down when I do my thing. So, but I'll read the room. We'll see. I want to make everyone feel comfortable. That's okay. Perfect. So we have that moving forward. Our next, the wine will be delivered. So I'm going to back that, although I'll probably is that okay if I keep that wine delivery on the 16th to you? And then
Yep.
you just will have it? Okay. So we'll keep the wine delivery on the 16th. I'm going to move back the linen and the glass delivery to the new date. My question is, how many tables do you need linens for? We need the registration table, right? or not the registration, the name tag table. Do you have a table for that, Michael?
Yeah, we have a bunch of, folding tables.
Do you know what size they are?
Yeah,
6
most of them are 6 feet, the standard
6 feet? Okay,
size.
perfect. Right,
Um,
okay, great.
And we're not seating people or anything, right? We're just,
I don't think so, but I'd like to have some council members, standing by the door. I also like to have, maybe a council member on each side, just encouraging, it's hard with COVID, you can't encourage people to sit together, but we don't want big open gaps. And some
well, we have,
people need encouragement on that, but I'd like to have,
we have
I'd
some
like to have
nice
just a couple
cafe
council
tables.
members help.
Yeah, we've got some nice cafe tables and chairs out in the courtyard. I don't know if you've seen them, but there's,
I have, they're not very nice.
yeah, there are places for people to sit down out in the courtyard. And they don't need any kind of tablecloths or anything. They're nice cafe tables.
Right. Any flowers or anything like that you see that you would want or need that I can try to source locally? Anything? I was thinking just a cup. I may get some flowers for the tables, just to
I
give
think
them a little
that's a
pop.
nice idea. I think that's a nice idea, personally.
Very nice.
Thank you. Okay, great. So we'll put some flowers in. The day of the event, I'm now on the day of the event, which again, we're not looking at the dates, but we're just looking at the crux of the action items. So we have Sarah picking up the food. Thank you, Sarah. She's going to bring that on site. And then Michael has refrigeration for the food. And then that food will be placed out, of course, before the event.
Jordana, did
we've
Jenny give you
talked
the
about-
price for the food?
Sarah worked with her, and I believe she's helping us out quite a bit. Yes.
Sarah, she gave you a good price. Everything.
Yes, I just need a budget, but it's about $15 to $20 a person.
Great. Yeah, that's a good price. Thank you.
Perfect. And then we have okay, so I'm at 4:15. We have the AV, which we've done. We're in, okay, so right now it's 5:20. We're in the theater. And again, I like moving that timeline. I did leave it. So we're going to bump it. So I'm going to rearrange it. So we're going to bring people in. The event will start at 5:30. Start bringing people in the theater about 5 or 6. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And having the event go no more than an hour, start to finish, and then giving people on the back end an opportunity to come out and have it. Do we want to have drinks and food when they come out? What are our thoughts?
Yeah, I assume everything will still be set and that'll be fine.
The other piece is the musicians. I have to check and see if they can move the week. I'm sure they can, but I'll check. But when do we want them? Before or after?
Before or after, meaning like on the 24th?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are they going to play
So
before it?
I only had, which is, I'm really glad we're having this discussion. I only had them on the beginning and then having the event. I didn't really have people coming out and mingling and drinking after and eating afterwards. But if that's the way we want to run this, that's fine. We're probably going to have more expense because I only had the musicians playing in the beginning. And then they had the opportunity to leave.
Yeah, I think that's what they'd prefer.
Yeah.
So I guess I've got another question then is when do you want them to start? When do we want them to start?
I would say almost on the same timeline that we had before for the event. I had them arriving at 4:45, and you tell me if this is enough time. So they can set up and begin, and having them start at 5:25.
Yeah, that's, they don't
Because
even,
these guys are fast. They don't need,
Yeah.
they they get in, they make their music,
Yeah.
and they make everyone happy, and then they're out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Um,
perfect.
So that's kind of my timeline for them. And again, I know they're they just need to make sure that they can start at 5:25. I just want music to be playing when people come in. So okay, we have guests arriving at 5:30. We're not going to do a register, so no one will be signing in, but we will need name tags. Janet, do you have any name tags?
I'm sure we can get some.
Okay,
We don't have them.
that would be great. We're going to need some name tags for the table.
People write their own name on them.
Yes, I think that's the best. Everyone have to share a pen with COVID, but I think, no, maybe we should write them. Then we don't have to share a pen. So I will need a council member to write the name tags out. Do I have any volunteers interested in doing that?
They can also be printed on a, you can get 8.5 by 11 sheets of name tags, and, there's a template in Word, I'm sure, to print them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just requires a certain name tag to have that done, but okay, so name tags. Does anyone want to take this responsibility over to create the name tags?
I can do that. I have great handwriting.
Yay! Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. Perfect. So we'll have name tags. Sarah will create those.
I'll have
with her
David get
beautiful
some.
handwriting.
I'll have David pick some up and Sarah can stop by and get them, and I'll let you know, Sarah, when I've got them.
Of course. Thank you.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you, Janet. Okay, so great. So that's the name tags. We have that action item. Okay, moving through the line. How would you like to call the people into the theater? Michael, do you have
We have a
a
chime.
way that, okay, I thought so.
Yep.
May we use that to call people in?
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. Great. So then we'll have the guests settle in again about 6 o'clock, giving them a half an hour to kind of mill about, get a drink, get into the theater. And we'll start the program at 6. The program will go roughly till 7. And
Why don't we, Jordana, I was going to suggest maybe you and me and Justin and maybe Emma can sit together at some point and just put together the list, what we're reading and what we're presenting and all that stuff.
I agree.
I
That would
think
be
we
great.
need to go through all
Emma,
that. Yeah.
yep. Perfect. I absolutely want to do that. Emma's not going to be here for another month or so. She's taking a little vacation. So unfortunately, we won't have her help and expertise in this event, and we won't be able to honor her live and in person either. So,
Jordana, should
But
we
I
keep her
will-
on the emails? Does she want to be kept on the emails?
I'm keeping her on the emails because she's part of the council, and I want to keep her informed and involved. Absolutely.
And then,
But,
I see
but again,
Justin's
she's
not
told
on
me-
the email. Is that just because he couldn't join today?
I sent him a separate email. I have 3 emails for Justin, and sometimes
What
they go
email?
through and sometimes they don't go through.
Okay, so
So
because I
I'm
was
gonna-
going to
I'm
send
gonna
back the
send-
updated invite to everyone. So what email usually works for him?
Justin Churn at mac.com. is the one I've been using. But he has a theaterworkshop.org and a theaterworkshop.com as well. And sometimes they'll go through and sometimes they won't. So I use Justin Churn at mac.com.
Sorry, you just cut out. So I've got his
I'll
mac.com.
send it,
Put it in the
No, but
chat.
I want to
I'll send it
send,
to you.
I want to
Yep.
send invite around while we're all on the phone so that we all can approve the new invite pending Justin's approval, because I'm very sick and I can't be counted on to do a back and forth on this invite this week. And that's why
Okay.
I want to do it for us.
Jordy,
So-
I have an idea about the invite too, which is I think we should just let you and Ava make the final decision on the invite and send it out.
No, but that's what I'm saying is I don't want to do a back and forth 12 times on this
Right.
invite. I'm
That's
not
what-
well.
That's what
I
I'm
want
saying.
to.
That's what
Okay.
I'm saying. You don't have to send it out to anybody. I think as long as the information's on there correctly, I think we should just vote to let you and Jordana decide when it's time for the invite to go out.
Okay. That's up to you guys.
Is everybody else okay with that?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. No need for us to all get
Thank
involved.
you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There's a lot of cooks
Great.
and cookies on that invite.
Sarah, you okay with that too?
Absolutely.
All right.
Excellent. Thank you. And that just brings up a good red flag about the culture of this council and how everyone is doing their best and everyone's contributed, everyone to feel that their voice is not only heard, but it matters. And I want to thank everyone for all of their help and support in this event. And I know everyone wants it to be the best that they can be. So I thank you. And I appreciate the culture of this council of being an accepting, creative place where everyone feels that they're heard. So thank you. So we will get that. Ava and I will finalize that invitation. We will get that out. And we're going to email those. The Nantucket Cultural Council has a new email, which I will send out. It's nantucketculturalcouncil@gmail.com. So that way, all the invitations, the responses, any correspondence can come through this email. So it's not, it doesn't get lost. And okay, so the timeline, if I'm to understand correctly, so we want to have an hour in the theater. And then after that, we want to give people about a half an hour to mingle and engage. Is that correct?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
And if the presentation only goes 45 minutes, I think that'll be fine too.
Right. Well, I mean, I want to make sure that we give that time. I mean, that's what we're here for is to, to recognize those. And I also want to have time to recognize our Spotlight Award, which will be an annual award that we will give out. And that will also be a placemaker for those people that we can really honor. And again, it's just another way to inspire people in our community to just go outside and just be the best and inspire culture and inspire art and inspire the greatness of this community, which we're all here for. So I'm really excited about this award, and I'm excited to give it to Janet, and I'm excited for it to be a yearly award that we'll be able to use to, really gravitate culture. So now that I have a better timeline and a better idea from the council, the action items, we got a lot done in this meeting. With the name tags, Janet's going to get the name tags. Sarah's going to write the name tags. Sarah's going to help with the program. Ava and I are going to finalize the invitations and send them out. Thank you, Michael, for troubleshooting all of the events at the theater. Thank you, Tony, for helping me with the musicians. I know you're going to check with them. So what I'd like to do is call another meeting. And I know it's, and right now we're at the 5th of May. I'd like to have another meeting if possible on the 17th of May. How does that sound? And then that gives us a week before the event. That way we can make sure we're all on the same page, finalize everything. I'm back in town, and we can make sure that that everything's going to flow together. If something is not copacetic on the 17th, it gives us a week to adjust and refocus. In that period, I'm going to reformat this timeline with the stipulations that we set forward today as a council, and I will get that out to everyone. Any questions, concerns?
Now that works for me. If we could, Jordana, somebody could put together just data wise about the presentation, who we're mentioning and what about them that we're mentioning. Just a list would be a good place to start.
Sure, I have that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Any other questions, concerns, anything moving forward, anything in the timeline we didn't discuss?
Just the budget for the food, if possible.
Yes.
Got a budget of 1,500 for the whole thing. So it's in the last minutes. And I think we reserved $200 for the musician, $150 for glassware, leaving $11.50 for food and beverages.
There'll be an expense for the name tags or the paper for the printing of.
We'll pick that up from the office budget.
Okay, thank
Great.
you, thank you.
Tony, can I just ask Tony?
Like maybe a little bit of money for flowers.
I'm happy to donate the flowers personally.
Nice.
Awesome.
Tony, can I come by a day or two early and pick up that screen? Would that be all right?
Yeah, it's my personal screen. I'll bring it and have it here. Or I'll just drop it off when I bring it in.
That'd be great.
I'll coordinate with you.
All right, I'd just like to set it up and get it working before the day.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And
Okay.
Mike, yeah. And Michael, what I'd like to do, maybe when we meet, we can maybe do a troubleshoot. I can bring in the AV things, components, and I'd love to do that before the event for sure. Maybe on the 17th, if that's possible.
Sure.
But we'll coordinate a rehearsal time to make sure that, all the technical aspects are in line, so we don't have any surprises the day of the event.
Good, yeah, and I
That
would,
be great.
I would defer to Ava on this, but my sense is that this should be put together as a slideshow rather than just this, so that it plays, automatically without being a PowerPoint that has to be clicked through.
Exactly. Exactly.
If we have that on a, if I can put it on a thumb drive, I can also play that on the video monitor in the lobby while people are coming in too.
Did you mean to say
Perfect.
Ava?
Perfect.
Yeah, Ava.
I'm not making the slideshow.
No, but you're,
I'm
I think you have the expertise technically on these things, and I was just deferring to your expertise.
Oh, my input.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm really sick, but I was like just making sure you're not expecting a slideshow from me.
No.
Okay,
What
good.
time are we meeting on the 17th? Because I'm only available in the afternoon.
Let's make it an afternoon meeting. I will, what time works best for you, Janet?
I'm available after 1 o'clock.
Okay. Any other time constraints on the 17th for anyone else?
Nope, anytime's fine for me.
And for me,
Okay, great. I'm gonna shoot for a 1 o'clock meet. Does 1 o'clock work better, Janet, or does a 2 o'clock work better for you?
2 might be better. I'm running a retreat that morning and I might have some.
Okay.
follow-up.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, so let's do 2 o'clock on the 17th. That's when I will request the next meeting for the council. If anyone has any questions, concerns, need any support whatsoever on any of your action items, no matter what it is, please call me, email me. I will be reaching out to Sarah so we can work on this PowerPoint slide presentation. And again, thank you for all helping with the name tags. Ava, thank you so much for the work for the musicians. Janet, for all you're doing to keeping this council standing straight. Thank you. And from Michael, thank you so much for everything from the theater to your expertise. I'm just so happy to be working with all of you, and I thank you for your help and your support and your service. And this is going to be a great event, and I'm really excited. So please, if anyone's struggling in any way with anything on this event, please reach out to me. I'm available to you. I'll be back on the island next week, and I'm looking forward to getting this event together and just making it the best it can be, and honoring Janet and the council and all the work that's been done.
I have just.
Do I
two
have any questions?
Yeah, I have two questions. One,
Sure.
Jordana, you have people that are going to pour, correct?
I do. I have two people. Mhm.
Okay, good. Because I have tip certification, but I'm probably going to be the only staff there. And the other question.
Yeah, what I would prefer if
Go ahead.
I would just prefer if the council didn't have like everyone, I want the council members to be engaged with the people that are coming.
Right.
As opposed to being bartenders or something like that. So thank you. Yes.
And the other question was, and maybe Tony can help me out. Do you guys have a podium kind of thing?
We might. We had one, somebody stashed. I think it's under we might have like a clear plexiglass podium.
Okay, we have music stands, but if there's a more formal kind of
Yeah,
podium thing, that works better.
Let me go on a search around the building, see if I can find it.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Excellent. Michael, anything else that you need?
Nope. That's the date is actually better. It gives us a little more time, a little more breathing room. So hopefully Justin obviously is going to be key to all this. So hopefully he's all right with that.
Ava, do you need anything? Any support?
No, my computer's just frozen, but I'm gonna, I figured it out on mobile, so I'm gonna send you the invite before I hop off.
Okay. Okay. I hope you feel better.
Thank you. Thank you,
Sarah, do you
Jordana,
need
for
any-
guiding us.
Thank you.
No, I just,
Sarah, do you need any help or support?
no, I'm just looking forward to working with you. So I'm good.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Me too. Thank you. Tony, do you need any help or support at this time, or is there anything else that I can do for you? Any questions or concerns?
Nope, I think we
you
got
have?
it. I'll check with my guys and see if they can change it the other day.
Sorry, I just, did we decide on the budget for the food?
I think it's around $1,000.
We,
And do I need to approve that with other council members before I offer it to Jenny?
It's coming out of my budget, so I don't think,
Okay.
so,
I don't think I need your approval to spend my.
so I
money.
believe I have. Right.
Okay.
So Sarah has $1,000 budget to work with the food.
It sounds
And
excellent.
are you doing non-alcoholic? Are you doing non-alcoholic drinks as well, Sarah, in that budget?
I haven't expressed that to Jenny, but I think that I can work with her on the budget and then provide maybe seltzer outside of that.
Okay, maybe can we do maybe some lemonade and iced tea? Do you think too?
She does like some
Absolutely.
I
really
just, you
nice,
know,
like non-alcoholic drinks like that, Jordana. So I think if Sarah, if you just talk to her about that, she can do those for us.
Yeah, I agree, Ava.
Okay,
Thank
cool.
you.
I just,
Yeah, and if we can put
Awesome,
if
perfect.
we can put non-alcoholic drinks out as for kind of self-serve kind of thing, I can tell you it'll free the bar up for pouring wine much better.
Mhm,
Okay,
Totally.
understood.
Excellent. Great. Janet, do you have any questions, concern, anything that you need from me or the council
I'm good.
moving forward? Okay, great. I want to thank everyone for their time this morning, and I appreciate the reboot. I now have become very Zoom savvy, which has been a nice thing. And I thank you. I do apologize for the missed meeting. I didn't put, I had the wrong code and I put it in the wrong box, and I apologize. And
We've all been there, Jordana.
I thank everyone for their time this morning. I now open this meeting to public comment. Okay. I'd like to close the meeting for the Nantucket Cultural Council. The next meeting is to check this with Erica for do I have a first and a second to close the meeting?
Yeah, I'll move approval to close the meeting.
Second.
Can I get a second? Oh, we're frozen.
Jordana?
Can I get a second to close the meeting?
Second.
Yeah, I think Tony just did. Jordana, can I just give you one little bit of advice? Having run many
Of
meetings,
course.
having run many meetings according to Robert's rules and everything. Anytime you have an item that requires a vote, if you just ask if there are any objections, and if no one objects, you can say hearing none, that motion passes. And that'll save you a lot of time, Trump. It's just free advice, so that's what it's worth. And if you can try to avoid freezing up on your screen as often as possible.
You can control that.
Anyway,
Hard stop at 11 to join another Zoom, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
sign out.
okay. See you guys later.
Bye.
Thanks, Janet.